So the specific features that Agentforce has that kind of sets itself apart between chatbots and other co-pilots. There's a few different things that I like to look at. First thing is it's a data-centric approach. So it uses all of the data from Salesforce and anything hooked up within Data Cloud. So it uses that data for any of the context that it uses for providing any of the actions that it might do. Secondly is the reasoning engine. So the reasoning engine is a big thing within Agentforce and why it can do what it can do with all the different actions that it takes. So unlike different chatbots where you might have to basically define all of the different paths that it might take based off of customer prompts and responses, you don't have to do that within Agentforce. It uses the reasoning engine to basically do all the heavy lifting for that to try and understand what their user wants to do, what actions they want to take based off of that information. Also, it's native in Salesforce, which means all of your user permissionings, workflows, and all of that data is available. So it speeds up time of development. So it uses all the same development pieces that you might be familiar with within Salesforce as well, whether it be configuration and flows and things like that. And it also basically allows a human AI collaboration. So rather than just being a strict chatbot or co-pilot where it's just AI, that Agentforce can easily bring in a human if needed. So you can easily define those as well. So when you're building out those agents, you can know at what point or what type of action actually needs a human to jump in and help out. Sure. Yeah, there's a number of different tasks that Agentforce can handle autonomously across different business departments. So initially, Salesforce is going to be releasing a number of different built-in agents on Agentforce. So they're going to basically have sales, service, marketing, and commerce all pre-built out. Just as a couple examples of different things that they can do within sales. You can have the agent follow up with leads. You can have them qualify them. You can have them hand off to human sellers once it gets to a certain point in the sales process. You have service. Service allows you to basically run tier 1 support on any customer inquiries that come in. So that can be 24/7 since that agents don't need to be awake. They're just always there. So basically handling that support is needed. And there's marketing, basically transcribing different customer conversations, adding different tags to customers' profiles, and really understanding the customer themselves and how to market to them the best. And commerce, so if you think about commerce, typical things that you might have customers contacting you for, managing orders, tracking inventory, and processing returns. So that was all out of the box stuff that Agentforce is going to come out and be available for, help make work just out of the box. So those are the typical things that it can handle autonomously. But when we really think about it, I think what really excites me about anything with Agentforce is building out any of those custom solutions. Basically, the sky's the limit for different things that we can have the agents do themselves. So if you can think about it, as long as you have the data available, we can use all of the tools that Salesforce gives us, whether it be the reasoning engine and different actions to basically make a use case of how those agents can do complex tasks if we need. So the biggest thing here is with those actions that we get from Agentforce, we can actually do stacking or chaining those actions. So some actions can actually trigger other prompts to happen as well, which trigger other actions. So we can actually get some pretty complex solutions built out on Agentforce. That's pretty exciting. Sure, yeah. So the role of Data Cloud in supporting the functionality of Agentforce is really crucial. So anything with AI, that data is basically the backbone. So AI can't be good unless your data is good. So what Data Cloud does is it basically allows a centralized repository for all of your data to be brought into one system. Data Cloud supports both structured and unstructured data. Through Agentforce using the LLMs can basically know the context of what that data means and how it's relevant to what the customer is trying to perform or the tasks. Data Cloud's there to basically be an aggregate of all that data that comes in. So when we think about using Data Cloud and Agentforce, Data Cloud really provides like the data integration. So basically seamlessly integrates all of the various different data sources, whether it be from an external data source or external database, product catalogs, sales data. It can bring all of that in, whether it's on Salesforce or not, and makes it available for Agentforce to use. This kind of gives you that overall comprehensive view of the customer data. Agents can easily retrieve that data too. So since it's in Data Cloud, it's all available for quick retrieval. It could be anything from like documents, so unstructured data, to structured data like actual sales data, like we mentioned before. And this really empowers those agents to make informed decisions using that reasoning engine. So since it has basically a view of all of the data within Data Cloud, it really provides that contextual understanding. So all of the agents have a context of all of the data across all of your systems, which really makes it powerful. There's no siloed data. There's no going out to different systems to try and understand certain things. It's all there. And with it there, we can provide actionable insights. So Agentforce improves employee productivity and allowing organizations to focus more on strategic tasks. The way it does this is it takes some of those more mundane and time-intensive tasks. It takes those and it basically provides a way for automating those in a routine way. It makes it so that all of your employees can take a look and really focus more on those more complex and strategic tasks. So if you think about things like scheduling appointments and answering calls and things like that, all of that type of stuff is something that we really look at Agentforce as being able to handle right away out of the box. So just as like an example, me coming from a development background, I would often have to write a lot of code that would be boilerplate, so stuff that's the same no matter what you're doing. And it ends up taking a lot of time to do that, whereas it'd be nice to be able to have all of that boilerplate pre-built and taken care of for me by something like Agentforce, and allowing me to really focus more on those complex tasks that I need to do as a developer. So that kind of thinking basically aligns to basically any role within Salesforce. Agentforce will provide insights and recommendations. So us as people, it's tough for us to look at a lot of data and drive insights from that data. But Agentforce, being built on those LLMs, this is something that it really excels at. So it can look at a lot of information about all of our data within our orgs or other systems through Data Cloud and basically provide insights and recommendations on that data very easily. So we can set that up. We can also personalize customer interactions. So using those insights off of those large amounts of data, we can have the reasoning engine basically personalize specific data for the customers based off of that specific customer's journey within our company. It also basically allows you to use data from every other customer as well, and using that to help determine what best route is to take for Marketing Cloud or for marketing with those customers. And then let's see, we can also scale up our operations. So using Agentforce, it's very easy to scale since it's on Salesforce, software as a service. Once we scale it up, it's basically allows even more productivity out of our organizations. It really allows us to really focus on those strategic tasks. So first of all, Agentforce is native to Salesforce. So coming from Salesforce, we all know if it's native on Salesforce, it's just better. With it being native on Salesforce, it really allows us to enjoy all of the hard work that's been put in for the security architecture. So Agentforce will respect all of our data security that's already been in place on your Salesforce instance. Let's see, and there's the AI trust layer. So the AI trust layer ensures that no information is sent outside of Salesforce that doesn't meet our compliance needs. So we also have the AI trust layer. The AI trust layer ensures that no information is sent outside of Salesforce that doesn't meet our compliance needs. So within the AI trust layer, there's a mechanism that'll obfuscate any sensitive information, basically stopping that information from being sent in a prompt to an LLM. Or Salesforce also ensures that there's no customer data that gets stored in those LLMs. So as we make calls to the LLMs via the prompts, none of the customer data is actually stored there. LLMs don't use those for any other training. So it's all guaranteed to not be stored anywhere, so you don't have to worry about your data going somewhere that it shouldn't be. It all stays on platform within Salesforce. So there's also prompt logic. So Salesforce allows you to build out prompts, and when they do that, you could actually step through the process of how the prompts are working and how they're calling the different actions. So this allows you to really do some low-level testing. So if you're seeing specific things or hallucinations that are happening, and you're just having trouble trying to debug those and seeing why that's happening, you can use the prompt builder to basically figure out what is happening on the back end as it goes out. And you're more than likely going to find something that's very simple, or it might be some bad data that it's being referenced on, or it might just be your prompt is built incorrectly and you need to update that. So Salesforce provides a really nice, easy way to do that, trying to help make sure that customers aren't seeing those types of prompts as they go through. And then Salesforce also built in a new testing suite within Agentforce. This testing suite is pretty cool. It basically allows you to build out a number of different customer responses that you might send as prompts within your agent. And this is then sent to all of the different LLMs to generate, not all the different LLMs, but to your LLM to generate a customer response. And then that response can be basically reviewed for it passing or not passing your actual test based off of the response itself. So you can build out thousands of these different responses and then basically run all of these all at once as you're updating your prompts and all of your actions within Agentforce itself. And if you think building out thousands of different customer responses for that testing suite sounds tough, think again. You could actually use an LLM to generate all of those built right into the tool. So that's pretty cool. And then lastly, as far as advanced security features, is all of the prompt and LLM responses all are stored within Data Cloud. So for audit and compliance purposes, all of those logs are stored within Data Cloud, just for traceability and reporting. So those can all be reviewed if there's issues and you're concerned about anything that might have happened. It allows you to go back and take a look and see what actually happened. So when we're looking at a lot of these other platforms that are trying to utilize AI within their business, a lot of those methods seem to be DIY methods where they're building out their own offering by referencing maybe LLMs from a high level and updating their models and doing all the hard work on their own. But Salesforce took a little bit different approach. So just as Salesforce kind of revolutionized the CRM by providing it as a software as a service, they're kind of doing the same thing when they're taking a look at AI. So Salesforce is basically taking all that heavy lifting out of implementing your solution and basically provide an enterprise-ready platform. So Agentforce is built on the Salesforce platform, which means it's designed for large organizations with complex needs. This is, like we've mentioned before, data security, scalability, and integrations with other enterprise applications. So this is all pre-built and it's all in the offering that Salesforce has. And since it is on Salesforce and we have all of the fun things that Salesforce provides us as far as no-code development and things like that, we end up with Agentforce being extremely easy to use. So even a non-technical person can implement it. So you don't need to build out any Apex, nothing like that. It's all user-friendly. So like we've mentioned before, we have some pre-built agents as well. And it basically allows us to also use things like flows and point and click type things like that to really enhance and make some pretty awesome things out of not a lot of work, as opposed to other DIY platforms that are being created right now. And it's also powerful. So Agentforce is powered by, like we said before, a very sophisticated reasoning engine. This is kind of the backbone of how all of those complex things can happen, those intelligent decisions happen as well. So really when you have good data paired with this reasoning engine, the sky's the limit. So the big thing is you want to define clear goals and objectives when using Agentforce, such as like, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to provide customer service, increase sales, automating tasks, things like that? I always like to start small. So if you start small, you can start to implement it, get a feel for how it works, and really learn from how you using it and changing it affects you and your organization, as well as how does it help people. And that might inform what you might do down the road instead of trying to take on some very complex tasks right away, really get a feel for it to start with. And like we said before, the data really is the backbone of Agentforce and any AI. So you want to make sure that any data that you're bringing in has been evaluated and is good to use, it's accurate, and use that when we're actually training and empowering our agents. And then you'll want to make sure that you develop a plan on how you'll implement Agentforce. This includes training your staff, integrating Agentforce with your existing systems, and basically monitoring its performance as it goes on. So like I said, using those other tools that we have, like the prompt builders, the logs within Data Cloud, and basically any of the other reporting that you might have to just monitor Agentforce and how it's being used and how we can make it better. So those are the things that I would consider before implementing Agentforce within my operation.